Class, in this tutorial I would like to show you the usage of struct and union in a simple C++ code. So in this case, let's go over this code. So the first thing I have to do is, of course, launch Visual Studio 2010 or whichever version you're using and create a program using Windows 32 console and then a .cpp file. So in this case, I included my libraries, IOStream and a string, then standard output, input, end of line, and the variable string, which I will be used in this code actually. Then my main function, which is required by the compiler, otherwise the code will not run. Then here I define my struct patient and I give it two variables, int and a string. So this automatically assigns two memory slots, occupies two memory slots. Then I declare my union insurance and then I give it three different variables, float and double, medical, self-insured, or health insurance, for instance. And I give it a name, insurance info, and I give my struct name, patient info. And union insurance, for instance, as you can see, the float is the largest variable size, which will occupy the memory slot is assigned. But in this case, we are using one memory slot, which corresponds to float, which is the larger size. So we don't need to define and take additional two slots. So that's kind of the beauty of the union, is to save memory and to make our code efficient. So you just imagine if this code is used by a million users at the same time, the memory gets depleted really fast. So it's always a good idea to make your code more efficient and consume less memory. Then basically we prompted users to enter whoever is running the code to enter information about the patient. In this case, let's assume that somebody calls the call center and then the person talks to the patient and then entered information. And so is the users is prompted with patient information, name, and then they basically then we have input the name, which in this case we go to the patient info struct and we use the variable name. And we do the same thing for the age. We access the patient info struct and then we use the dot operator. Basically this is called dot operator to enter age. Then let's fix this. Then we enter the insurance amount, which is based on the conversation on the phone or whichever method you're using to enter it. Then in this case we selected medical, this person has a medical, so we're using the struct patient info dot, then we are accessing the union, and then we're using the medical field, medical, which is a type float, to populate the insurance information. Then we print the results on the screen. So the notation, patient info, which is the struct dot name, patient info dot age, patient info, then the union definition, and then the variable medical case. And then you're using the system pause to wait for us to enter, so the code completes or terminates itself. So basically this kind of shows why we're using kind of union and how we can combine it with the struct to save memory. And this is a sample code, so I encourage you to use it and to play with it so you understand how to define a struct and union. And again, the main objective of this is to the union help us to save memory, and doesn't assign 3 memory slots right away. It just assign 1 and then populates it with whichever variable the users or the inputs the information. Of course, we could have made this code more luxurious, or we could have had an if statement here, and based on the input, we would have used the proper variable. But this is just a demo to show you how this can be used. So having said that, let's run this code. So we're going to control F5. So we're going to enter, let's say, Joe. Return, the age is 34, and the insurance amount is to $4,567. Return, and basically it just displays the information on the screen. Okay, I hope you found this tutorial helpful to help you why the union is used in this case, and what's the purpose, and how we can combine it with the struct to write a sample code, C++ code. Thank you.